Let me begin by saying that I represent a candidate who wants to unify this party and win in November as long as we let everybody vote and every vote is counted. She thinks Kentucky counts just as much as Iowa, New Hampshire, and all these other states. This has been an amazing campaign. You came here tonight to listen to me talk about somebody that I thought I knew well, but I must tell you, even I have been impressed by the way she has hung in there, never given up, and kept working. She's been declared dead more times than a cat's got lives. Every time people get a chance to ask a simple question, who would be the best president, the answer is always. So I want to talk, at the end of this election, there are really only two things that matter. Who would be the best president, and who's the most likely to win? Those are the two things that matter. We've got troops in the field in Afghanistan and Iraq. We don't want you to torture them if you catch them, but we're not bound by the Geneva Convention on Human Rights, forbidding us to torture people with our own military commanders begging us to honor the Geneva Convention. We say we don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That's the right position, by the way. And then we say, but we're going to be the only country to get out of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, and we're going to try to develop 2 new nuclear weapons. Now, folks, that's a hard sell. Saying to somebody, I don't want you to have one of what I've got 1,500 of, and I'm now trying to get 2 new of. Maybe you could sell it. I don't think I could. I think you ought to vote for her because she is the only candidate with a plan to provide affordable health care to every single American, and if you don't do it, you can't get control of health care costs. Now, look, most Americans who have problems with health care worry about the cost. You agree with that? The cost is double. But raise your hand if you know somebody without any health care. I mean, look around this room. Okay, I'm going to take 2 minutes and try to convince you that you can't solve your cost problem unless you solve the coverage problem of the people for whom you raise your hand. The American Nurses Association endorsed Hillary for president in the primary because they said she had the only plan that would solve this problem. And I just want to tell you, folks, you cannot bring the American economy back unless we stop this health care cost spiral. You double health care costs for another 7 years, it doesn't matter who you elect president. You can elect Hillary or Senator Obama or Senator McCain. They cannot bring this economy back if we keep doubling health care costs for the same health care. If I were given this talk in any other wealthy country in the world, any European country, Canada, Japan, nobody would have raised their hand when I asked that question. Nobody. This is the only country at our income level that hasn't figured out how to provide affordable health care to everybody. The only one. As a result, you pay 50% more for health care than any other country does because we don't cover everybody. The insurance companies take $50 billion of your money every year and spend it trying not to insure people, right? Pre-existing condition. Your policy doesn't cover this. I'm going to cancel your policy. $50 billion bucks. You could save it all if we were covered. It'd be illegal to spend $1 trying to get your medical records and this not insure you. Second, you spend $200 billion more on paperwork than you would spend in any other country's system. $200 billion, 30 cents on the dollar, according to McKinsey and Company. They did a study on this. Think about it, and you'll figure out why. There are people here who filed claims, and you file a claim, and they say, we're not sure this is covered, or we're not sure you didn't have a pre-existing condition. Now, you know you're covered, and they know you're covered. And you know exactly what's going on. You're going to play a game over this money for 3 or 4 months, spend a lot of paper back and forth, then they'll fork over the money after they've earned the interest on your premium for 4 more months. Good for them, horrible for you. It is driving up this system. I'll give you an example. Instead of 30 cents on the dollar, Medicare's administrative cost is about 3 cents on the dollar. The VA medical system, not much more. We can save this money if we do this. Here's our solution. If you like what you got, you can keep it. If you don't, you have an absolute right to buy into the same plan that insures federal employees and members of Congress and our families. It is a great plan. There are more than 200 choices. So if you're young and single, all you need is enough insurance to protect you against a car wreck or an unforeseen illness. If you have little kids, you can get dental health coverage. mental health issues in your family, you get good coverage for that. But it's all cheaper than you could get anywhere else. Once we're in these big pools, you save $50 billion from the non-insurance costs, and then the administrative costs will go way, way down, and you take the savings, you give it to low-income people, and you give it to small businesses and family farms trying to help their employees so that everyone can afford it, because nobody can be required to pay more than a fixed low percent of their income in health care. That is the only way we can solve that. That's what every other country we're competing with has already done. You just have to decide if you agree with that and it's important to you. But if you do, and you're tired of making excuses and you want to make progress, you got to vote for Hillary for president, because she's the only one with a plan that'll do this.
This is David Wortham, and we are here at the Clinton rally at John Hart High School in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. We just listened to a approximately 1 hour long speech from former President Bill Clinton. He spoke a lot about the economy, the war in Iraq, the military, and the different changes that he proposed that Hillary Clinton will make as president. This is coming shortly before the Kentucky primary this following Tuesday. So we are going to see how well that turns out for the Clinton camp.